On in, this is day 3 of the Moray Coastal Path. Last night, well, after I left Lossiemouth, it decided to rain, and it rained hard, very hard. In fact, to the point that within 20 minutes I was absolutely drenched. I decided to go rather than wild camp, stay on the campsite. The problem was, for my little tent, it cost me £30 for the night. I managed to dry all my stuff in the laundry. Where the campsite is, it's situated about 2 or 3 fields away from RAF Lossiemouth. It's the biggest RAF air base in Britain and the only working air base in Scotland. And it's got tornadoes and typhoons. There are also sea kings fly from this place as well. As you can see behind me, we've got Coastline Lighthouse, which we're approaching that in a moment. Fortunate thing, this campsite is right on the Moray Coastal Path. So today we're heading down towards Sculptor's Cave. Then from there we're going to Burghead. We should see more World War II fortifications. So it's got a few pillboxes that's been sunken into the sea by obviously the land, the sand and erosion. Also the woodlands, there's red squirrels. Don't see many red squirrels unless you're in Scotland nowadays. And then onwards we go to Findhorn, or Seaport, and there's an eco village we want to pop into, and then we're gonna head down towards Falls, and there's a famous stone there, and that's where we're gonna finish this trail. So there's still plenty to see, so keep with us. So with that, let's get going. Just one other thing, just before we leave the campsite, I noticed yesterday, starting to look a bit like a tramp. Reason why? My feet. And in particular this shoe, the front of it's starting to fall off. Time for a new pair of walking shoes. Well, as we leave the campsite, so the place I stayed at was Silver Sands Holiday Park. As we're exiting, we've got the RAF base directly in front of us. So it's quite a big base, as I said, it's the biggest in the UK. Quite a few planes have flown. I think they're the tornadoes or typhoons, I'm not sure which one. They seem to fly in threes. It was even flying to about midnight last night. I'm sure we'll see a couple of planes as we head on today, because they all seem to be like doing training exercises, manoeuvres, that type of thing. Now this is a base, a major player in the Second World War, and not just for the Brits. Canadians and Americans were here. So it was a bomber command at one point. Vickers Wellington bombers were here. Now it's got typhoons and tornadoes. There's also Sea King's search and rescue. Okay, so this is Coastline Lighthouse. Now it's actually, I think you can holiday home there, so you can stay, probably get a good view from the top over the sea, even the RAF base. Now, no longer used as a lighthouse, where last night it was lit up. It wasn't imported as a lighthouse, it's been one here for 166 years. So the Moray Coast Trail used June path at high tide. Well, fortunately the tide's out at the moment. 4¼ miles to Hopeman. I think it's about 6 miles to Burghead. Just noticed on the corner there's an old pillbox sitting on the edge. Right, we're on the beach of Coastline. Tide looks out. I don't know how long it's going to be out for, but hoping you can walk a lot of it on the beach today. Now the next part we're going to do, probably about 2 miles down here, is a couple of caves. One called Sculptor's Cave, and we'll arrive there in a little while. Right in front of us, we've got an old Coast Guard lookout station. By the looks of it, it's no longer in use. Probably gone for more a digital version now. There is a track that way. It says half mile, main road, B9040. But then also Hopeman, 2¼ miles, Moray Coast Trail, which there is a path pointing that way. But then we've got this one, Cove Sea, 3¼ miles, Lossiemouth, 3½ miles, and that points out to that way. And I've got a funny feeling that's the wrong way. Maybe that way, because that's the way we've come from. But we're going to continue that way. We can just about make out. It's about 5 miles from here is Burghead. So we're getting a 5-minute break here. There's a little bench there, and I think I'm going to use it. A few aircraft flying over again, and mainly the larger plane, and I seem to be dead on level with the flight path at the moment. This gorse bush that's just in front of us, just beyond that there's a little, like an inlet. We're in that Sculptor's cave. So Sculptor's cave, it's not really sculpture, more of a sort of like engravings. The Picts, who were an early tribe of these lands between the 4th and the 6th century. Now they carved into the rock of the cave flowers and also other symbols. Now we're going to go on to Burghead in a moment. Well, 3½ miles, and that was like the capital of the Picts back in the day. So we thought surely see something in reference to them as we head that way. Looking down towards Closhatch Cove and the last of the caves along this stretch anyway. Looking across the Firth, it's probably our clearest look at the hills on the opposite side of the Firth. They're around 30 to 40 miles away, getting further we go around Peninsula. So that over there is Helmsdale. To the right of it, further than what we can see there, is Wick. And about 15 miles further is John O'Groats. Right, just turning around the corner and we're going to see Hopeman. I think it's mainly sees here. Then there's a big building further on, and that's Burghead. And then going out to the point, the fort is the old fort, as I mentioned before, of the Picts. Anyway, I just wanted to say that obviously as we're walking through here, every person I've spoke to, well, I always say hello when I pass people, and everybody's acknowledged me. And there's a lot of places I've walked all over the UK that people don't actually talk to you. You think, oh, when you say hello to them, they think you're going to rob them. Now in Scotland, it's been very pleasant. And one of the key things is they always say, I'll see you later. And you're thinking, odds are you're not going to see me again because I'm walking away from you and I don't live in Scotland. It doesn't hurt to be polite. One of the other things is that even people I've passed in cars have even wound down the windows and said hello. And in fact, quite a few ladies have done it. Maybe this red look is the better look for me. I've got the women interested for a change. Well, it wouldn't have been Scotland without seeing any thistles. And I have seen quite a few of them along the tracks, but haven't seen as many in abundance like these ones just here. Now we are walking through an old quarry, but I just came across this stone by this side of the path, and just the different colours of it. Obviously you can see the bottom part of the yellow sandstone. More the top is towards looks like ashlar rural type grit sandstone. And then this black line that seems to cut through the two, almost as if it's been painted on. Just looking back where we've walked from, and we can see Hopeman. It's a little fishing port. I just walked up to this manhole cover, and I just noticed it's Stanton. There's Stanton and Staveley, which are near where I live, which is in Derbyshire. That no longer survive now. It's no longer an ironworks. As I walked up to it, it made some slight hissing noise, as if something's inside there. As soon as I walked up to it, it went psst. St Affian's well, as he was a follower of St Columba in the 7th century. He brought Christianity to the northern Picts and is the patron saint of Burghead. The water from the well thought to have healing powers. I thought these bugs were flying ants, but they're not. There's some that look like an earwig with wings. Do my head in. All the things I've seen on this trail, I did think I was going to see loads of seals. There's meant to be 1,400 common seals, grey seals, just along these bays here. The seals, I don't know where they are, because they're not on here. So the Burghead Maltings, quite a substantial building. Right, we are on the old fort observational tower of the Pict tribe. Looking out to sea, and you can see that concrete stone there. But the actual fort went out into the sea. Picts of Moray. They were an elusive group of people that wandered these shores between the 4th and the 10th century. The name Picts derives from the Romans and means painted people, as they were portrayed as wild, uncivilized barbarians. The Picts were ruled by a king called Cruithna, who ruled Pictland for 100 years, a large region with its capital here at Burghead. The original stronghold stretched 20 acres with 8-metre thick walls pushing out into the sea. Although most of the Pict stronghold has gone after the Vikings attacked in the 10th century, remains plenty of carved stone, some with depictions of bulls, still remain in the area and can be found all over Scotland, with a substantial amount around Moray, including the 7-metre tall Siona stone near where we finished the trail in Falls. If we look across that way, that's where we're heading to now. I'm going to walk all the way around the bay area, all the way that way. That goes on for about 7 miles. It's wooded and a slight bit of beach. And then it comes to some bunkers that's further that way. And then we'll come to Findhorn. So we're going to head along here. And then about halfway down, get inwards to where the red squirrels are. Well, I think they're all within this woodlands. Walk along the beach. The water around here is near enough crystal clear. You can see straight into that. I can see for the next 30 metres I can see the bed. And just looking over that direction, we've got 2 people over there. So as we can see, fortifications line the beach of Burghead Bay. The concrete barriers stop any vehicles getting by. Then again, even if they got by, they would have to try and climb up sand dunes. I'm not sure how well a tank or Land Rover or whatever would be able to climb up that hill. So I'm sure we'll see quite a few pillboxes along the way. Some more interesting than others, hopefully. So we just arrived at Millie's Buffy. It's a bit of a burn coming out here, heading out into the sea. And just where this is at the sea, there's quite a lot of gulls sitting, waiting for something, some sort of fish, I gather. So we're just heading up towards Millie's Buffy. Not sure why it's got the name. From what I'm gathering, a Buffy is an old building, which I suppose that's what it is. So this is the remains of one, foundations of a building. There's more of a structure up here, not livable. I presume this is the original Buffy. And to the right we've got a burn, which is well, basically a stream, water heading into the sea. Once we find a path, we'll head over that way into the woods. I'll go about another 4 kilometres inside the woodland area now, and then we'll head out to an old RAF base, Kinross, which is no longer an RAF base, it's more an army base now. So we're in the Rossall woodlands and also by Rossall Beach. Now the wartime legacy for it was during World War II, defences of concrete anti-tank blocks, pillboxes, which are like small gun stations, ditches and barbed wire were built on the shores here in case there was a German invasion, and pillboxes as we've seen along the route, well, today and yesterday as well. a different type and colour of jellyfish on this beach. Lossiemouth, we had blue ones. These ones are clear. They don't move much. So I just noticed from this pillbox, fortifications changed. The barrier is now long pieces of concrete rather than the individual cubes, although they have died out, and then it's just seems to be in places now. Anyway, it's starting to rain, so I'm going to try and see if I can get back into the woods, shelter from the rain. The tide is coming in. I didn't realise until I got to this pillbox how fast it is coming in. Will I get off this beach before the tide is in? Because I could be swimming the last couple of kilometres at this rate. Now you can see that this one's always under the water, well, quite frequently, because it's got its own coral reef attached to it. Loads of barnacles, other little shellfish. And here we have a pillbox for small people. Or as the beach taking most of it. Nearly swallowed away. There you go. I'm thinking this is going to be my new logo. Expedition hiker and walker. Think about putting it on a t-shirt. What do you reckon? So this is the alternative. EH on the left, walker by the side, and expedition hiker underneath. So what do you reckon? First one or the second one? A set of steps to take me onto the top path. The problem is, first step, it's not a little too bad. I've got to do stretches. It's 3 foot off the ground. MOD property, keep out. Well, it's no longer an RAF base, but it is an army base. So we're going to follow this path all the way around the edge of it, and that'll get us to Findhorn. So the last of the World War II fortifications as we're heading down towards the end of the beach. So you can see a pillbox there right on the water's edge. It looks like possibility on the horizon, there's a couple there. We're sticking on this path here, head down to Falls after we've been to Findhorn. God, it's getting warm. Today's meant to be raining. I bought my waterproof jacket right at the top and my sun cream at the bottom. It should have been the other way around. Mind you, I'm burnt like a burnt sausage at the minute. Got cat pit there. Across here, different time. Got this stone here with some interesting lichen on it. I thought it was painted on first, but yes, a yellowy green lichen. Neon. We've got open fields here that you can see some of the hangers back in the distance over there. But the rest of here, there's nothing apart from all this wood. That's fuck. And then all of a sudden a cat went and stroked itself against my leg. Where the hell did he come from? I do not know. It scared the 10 bells of shit out of me, that did. Also because I'm allergic to cats, but flipping cat. I nearly had a heart attack. Feel better now. I walked on after that cat. Scared the shit out of me. Anyway, well, we've moved away from the Moray coast for a moment. At the moment we're walking through, well, an area which has been named as an eco village. I think it's the biggest one in Scotland. When I was in my 20s, I went to a place called Christiania in Copenhagen, Denmark, and that was like a hippie town, but people built their own houses. This eco village is meant to be exactly the same. People have built their own houses, but more living off the land, not causing too much of a carbon footprint. Right, so hopefully as we go down here, we should be able to see some of these interesting houses. So a couple of these eco buildings hidden away in the trees. Another one there. Seems to be, is that wood or corrugated metal? Quite like the look of it as an outdoor type person. We're going to get to the heart of this little village in a moment. They're all slightly different, built of different materials. I haven't seen one of brick, that's obviously using materials that are against the planet. Now I presume the people that live here help with the community. I presume they even help each other building the houses. And you can actually come and stay here for 2 weeks and help somebody build a house. And through that you learn all the skills of how to build a house. So if you want to do your own sort of like project like this, you can do. It's actually a way of life. And this is a cafe, community centre. If you want one yourself, there you go. Affordable housing from Greenleaf Design and Build. You can find them on Facebook, Greenleaf DB. So this is the Findhorn Mudflats. And that way goes to Fours, which is the way we're heading to now. Not a sign that you see every day. Red squirrels crossing. I mean, the way they're talking about it, there should be a squirrel in every tree. I've seen 2 today. One I caught on camera. Kinloss, which means we've got about 4 miles left to do of the Moray Coast Trail. Kinloss Abbey was founded in 1150 by King David I and was colonised by the Cistercian monks. It went on to become one of the largest and wealthiest of its kind in Scotland. During its colourful and scandalous 400-year history, it had many raw visitors. Edward I camped there during the autumn of 1303. Edward III stayed in 1336, and Mary, Queen of Scots, was a guest in 1562. The Reformation of Parliament in 1560 finally heralded the beginning of the end for Kinloss Abbey. It was systematically dismantled and ruined until the remaining stone was eventually sold to Cromwell in 1650. So Findhorn, as we look across the mud and sand bay. So just up on the hilltop we've got Nelson's Tower, in reference to Admiral Nelson. It's got a little bit of a museum inside of it to him. Looking to the right, we're heading to this white bridge. And once we get over it, there's an interesting thing to see the opposite side. Now I've just realised I don't even have to get over the bridge before we see our glass cabinet, because it's here, across the road. Let's go and have a closer look. What is it? A little peek. Here we are. This is called the Suanna Stone, and it was part of the Picts. You know, we talked about the Picts. Well, I mentioned about Sculptor's cave, where they made some engravings into the walls of the cave, and then Burghead, where we talked about obviously different stones that they created, and a lot of them around Moray and Scotland. This one in particular is the biggest. Now it's in a glass cabinet to prevent it from erosion, because it's the biggest one of these types in the world. And as you can see, it's got engravings on it. Look at it closer, there's patterns all the way through it. So it's 7.5 meters tall. Few documents associated with the Picts have survived. A lasting reminder of their existence and importance is the 200 or so symbol stones. Each display a rich variety of carvings scattered throughout the country. The stones may have had featured burial rituals or served as personal memorials. We do not know exactly what the symbols represent. It only adds to the air of mystery surrounding the Picts. There is a lot of carvings on it all the way. Stonemason's Field Day. Well, we're coming towards the end of this long distance walk. Has it been an interesting one? Yes, I would say so. In fact, I would say probably one of the most beautiful long distance coastal walks I've walked in the UK. There's been plenty to see. A person that likes photography or videos or likes nature, you've got the lot in. So I mean, I've seen a minke whale, several dolphins. I've seen seals, seen osprey, otters. I've also seen caterpillar, plenty of other birds. Then on top of that, we've seen the World War II fortifications that are still remaining. We've been past the barracks on Lossiemouth and seen the tornadoes and typhoons. And it's been great to walk along the coastal area as well. Oh yeah, we saw some red squirrels as well today. Seen the heritage fishing ports. So overall, yes, an excellent walk. Downfalls to it, not many shops actually along the way. Although there's water by the side of you, seawater, you can't really drink that. So it's been a struggle trying to find places. Sometimes you see a cafe, and then there's a cafe every 400 metres, and then all of a sudden it stops and you don't see anything for 8 to 10 miles. So yes, the coastal path, you need to work out where you can get your food and drink from. Maybe for me, I should have bought some more suntan lotion than I did, because I look like a burnt lobster at the minute. But overall, I've enjoyed this walk. Hopefully you have done too. And we've got one last thing to do, and that's get to the end point, which I think the official end point's about half a mile from where we are now. Hopefully you've enjoyed it too, and we'll get out and do another one quite soon. Right, with that, let's get to the end point. So as we are by the police in Forth, we have this stone here, and this is an ancient stone. It's called the Witch's Stone, as the sign says here. Witches were rolled in stout barrels. Where the barrels stopped, they were burned with their mangled contents. The stone marks the site of one such burnings. Now in the park, Forth Park. Not sure if that's meant to look like Loch Nessie. It's got eyes and a beak with an ostrich. Plant fly made of flowers. Gorilla or bear. Ladybird or hedgehog there. What do you reckon it is? Badger, otter, beaver, because he's got wood in front of him. He's a beaver. I just went past the guy in a kilt and I thought, oh, that's novel. And then I thought, we're in Scotland. That's why I don't see more people in kilts. Right, this end point is somewhere around here. Well, I'm guessing it's this structure here, because there was something similar to that. Because if you remember when we were in Cullen at the start, there was a monument that it resembled this. This looks a little bit grander, but similar sort of thing. So the sign behind me is, and what I can gather is the official start end point of the Moray Coastal Path. Can't find anything else that may resemble it. So this is it, the end point for me, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please subscribe, click a like, add a comment, and until the next one, and there are plenty coming out. I've got another long distance walk I've completed. I've got to get that video out, and I've got a few other interesting things coming out soon as well. So with that, take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye hikers.